Okay. Is it actually going? Wow, there's a delay. Okie doke. Did I set this up correctly? All right, well, I guess I'm sitting here and doopity doopity doop. Hey, people are here. Groovy. Space Cowboy, right on. How you doing? Adrian, hey. Aloha. Right on. Okay. Does it look like I'm synced up okay, or do I look ridiculous? Hampter, hi, how you doing? This is so weird because whatever. The YouTube thing is like delayed from what the OBS thing is showing, and it's weird, and I'm inexperienced at this, so it's always a little, I don't know, weird. I guess that's the best way of putting it. It's just weird. How's the audio? Cool, cool. Okay, I'm glad. All right. Thanks, Adrian. Hi, is that Juan Nungare? I hope I said that even close to correct. Hi, how you doing? Good, 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 good. All right. So I'm not even sure what to do here other than just sit here and just sort of babble. You know what I mean? I didn't really come up with any ideas that I was like, wow, what am I planned on doing this, and now I have no idea what to talk about. So I guess what I'll do is just, I don't know. Anybody have a burning question they need to ask me? So I'm gonna have to fidget, but Hey Joey, how you doing? And Kate Manda, I hope I said that even right. Or it's Josh. Hi. Tyler, hi. Yeah, I've been trying to get more stuff out. Um, oh, okay. So the mic, I'm using two. It always does it here. That should be one mic, and this is the other mic. I have them both on. I use AKG P420s. You want to know my life story? Okay, yeah, I can do that. We'll start with that. How's that? I'll try not to get too rambunctious so that people can relax. How's that? Um, okay, so I was born in a place called Chula Vista. I think I've said that before. It's in Southern California. Um, it's well, it's near the Mexican border, right? Near San Diego. I didn't ever live in Chula Vista. Um, I was just born there in a hospital. My parents were from San Diego, so I guess that's where we lived for the first couple of years of my life, and then we moved to the Bay Area. My dad got a job; he's a computer programmer, and it was his first real job. A serious guy. My parents got married very young. Um, my dad knocked my mom up. He was still in high school. She was a year older than him. Um, I used to tease him that it was a shotgun wedding. Um, Although it wasn't. They were planning on getting married anyway. Just everything happened a little faster than their original plan was. Um, oh, wait, hang on. I'm going to stop here for a quick sec. Everything audio. I'm an audio engineer and do this for. Oh, right on. That's good to know. So here's the thing. I may if something weird happens, I might say, hey, can you help me? But yeah. Okay. Anyway, so where did I leave off? My parents getting me created early and thus accelerating their marriage. My dad moved up to. My parents moved up here with me in tow. Um, that was what 67, I think, something like that. And then we moved around a bit up here. Then my sister was born in '68. We finally settled down in Hayward. Um, yeah, that's where I lived mostly in Hayward, South Hayward, and then in the Castro Valley. That's where I went to school. Um, is there anything fun? Well, I have stories about school, but I think I'm going to wait and make a video about that because I had some interesting experiences in my elementary school. Um, I don't know, maybe I'll just talk about that now. I think I've mentioned to you guys before that I was that kid. You know what I mean? The problem kid. You know what I mean? The unchallenged, difficult child. It turned out that I was a gifted child. I like to say I was diagnosed as a mentally gifted minor, is what they called us, MGMs. Um, yeah. Anyway, um, I was pretty unhappy in school until I got into a situation in fifth and sixth grade. It was a team teaching situation. So there was two teachers teaching. Two classrooms got fused into one, and it was first grade to sixth grade, and it was a pretty interesting experience. Um, Most everything was modular, self-paced modular, and you made contracts with the teacher, so you knew what you were doing, what you're responsible for. We had privileges. I think I mentioned you guys that we made a mural that we spun the wool ourselves and all that kind of stuff. Let me see if I'm missing some comments here. Um, and Cool, it's good to know, Juan. And how my school. I think I heard that phrase too. Gate. Yeah. You see, you know what I'm talking about, right? I don't know. I don't know whether you had as bad an experience as I did. I didn't find it as good as you might hope. I know that they get matriculation money for us, right? So the schools get more money because they're supposed to be dealing with us. And I don't know. I never really, well, until I got into that, the team teaching thing, and that was a pretty cool thing. Mostly because they didn't stand in front of the room and lecture. They were very dynamic, um, involved with the students, moving around. Like I said, most of the reading and math and all that was, um, self-paced, really. They also encouraged peer-to-peer, like you could talk in class. I mean, you had to be civilized about it, but like they encouraged older kids to help younger kids and this sort of thing. That's a really powerful dynamic, I think. Um, Okay, let me go over here to Tyler said a dual taught class in high school that combined history and English, so we learned history. That's an interesting thing. See, I like that kind of thing where you can have synergy and dynamism and that kind of thing, and having people work with each other. I like that idea. Space Cowboy says, so you're quite a youngster there, Space Cowboy. And oh, okay, yeah. Well, self-paced stuff. I like the self-paced stuff, but anyway. So that's that was an okay experience in school. But anyway, then after that part of school, I guess junior high. Junior high was, I don't know. I got puberty hit, and I was too obsessed with girls. I mean, I did okay in school. I did well without trying very hard, but I was pretty obsessed with girls. Or I mean, not everybody has to be. I'm straight cis. You don't have to be straight cis, but I was obsessed with girls. You can be obsessed with whoever you want to be obsessed with. Just be respectful. You know what I'm saying? And before anything happens, get consent. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Wow, Tyler, medical school, right on. It's very self-paced. All right. Yeah, but that's your pace. That has to be pretty relentless, doesn't it? Um, Reclaimer Bob, hey, how you doing? Been a fan for 10 years, right on. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. That's a groovy thing. I don't know. So after school, I don't know. Was there anything amazing? And I found high school. I left high school. I actually technically dropped out. I took what's called the California High School Proficiency Exam, which is essentially the high school equivalent of Sir Eggplant. I am doing well, dude. Yeah, and then I went to junior college for a bit. I went in and out of junior college. Because I decided I wanted to be, a rock musician. So I played in bands, and I just went to, yeah, I don't know. It was a weird life, and then I got married young, and who knows. What else is going on here in the comments section? Right, you pay right on. Okay, chiming in only to say, hey, long time. Well, I appreciate you coming in and chiming in. I wish you could hang out longer, but you need to do what you need to do, man. So that's groovy. Thanks for popping in, though. That's cool. And let's see, what was I going to be talking about? Okay, so junior college, rock bands, got married young, got divorced not too many years after that. Then I moved back up. Well, that was all down in San Diego, by the way. I guess I should say that I moved down to San Diego for a while, um, and then I moved back up here. And can I imagine myself without the beard? Well, I used to be clean shaven, so yeah, I can imagine it. I I think I've mentioned this tale before. I'll go ahead and repeat it because why not? Um, uh, so my sister's 40th birthday, it was quite a little shindig, which you might imagine. But among the things that were going on, people were watching a movie in the living room while people were partying in other parts of in their apartment and outside on the patio area and all that. But they were watching the 300, right? The movie with the Greeks supposedly fending off the Persians, right? Um, and those guys had very dramatic beards, you know what I mean? And it was, clearly all makeup. And this, well, I don't know if it was all makeup, but it was made up to look dramatic, right? Anyway, in a drunken fit of bravado or ego or something, I don't know. I said I could grow a better beard than those guys, and so my sister said, "Well, maybe you should." And so I said, "Okay." And then so there, I haven't shaved since. So that's that. uh, oh, 17. Oh, is that a date reference there for Farouk? And the buff carrot. Nah, I'm glad you love the videos, man. Right on. Oh, I'm from Scotland. Right on. Whereabouts in Scotland, if you don't mind my asking? I've been to Edinburgh. That's the only place I've been in Scotland. I guess I should say Edinburgh, shouldn't I? We Americans say it improperly, don't we? Um, it just grows that fast. Well, it's funny that you make that joke, Adrian, because I'm one of those guys that does, in fact, have what's called the 5 o'clock shadow. Um, I had to shave immediately before dates because I would tear women up. You know what I'm saying? It's just it became sandpaper pretty fast. Ah, the buff carrot is a Glaswegian. Okay, right on. You guys have a pretty rough reputation over there. But there's a comedian that I quite like that's Glaswegian. Wait, is Fern Brady Glaswegian? I'm thinking of a tall guy though. The tall guy. I can't think of his name. Um, it'll come to me maybe. But hey, Shannon, good to see you. Glad you're here. Hi from California, I guess. So I wonder how many of you think you'll be around for more than one of the streams. I'm afraid I don't know. Have I bit off more than I could chew? Oh man. Sorry, the spine is cricking and cracking. Well, thanks for the compliment, Farouk. That's very kind. Okay, Adrian, I will, see you at a future date or time, or we can, here's the thing. I'm wondering what would be your guys' appetite for these. I'm thinking if this goes well, the multi-stream experiment that I'm doing here. Um, hey, Nick. If it goes well, and if it doesn't screw up my energy, and I don't get too stiff with my back and all of that, I think maybe this is what I'll do to solve the problem of trying to reach the most of you. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it's just a matter of me, well, I'm just making sure I don't overdo things and all that kind of crap. Um, all right, Farouk, right on. Um, um, okay, so from outside Glasgow. All right, thanks, the buff carrot. Should I just call you Buff for my laziness? Is that all right? Hi, Nick. How you doing? Um, anyway, so obviously I'm not going to do these every week just because I can't manage that. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Is monthly? I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to consider it. Okay, so the most successful streams over there. Yeah, you might be right. I think people like to be able to come to expect it, don't they? Um, so, yeah, I don't know. So maybe I should think about that. I'll consider it. Let's just see how the experiment goes, right? Because if I can't do them in this all one night thing like I'd like to try to do, then I'll try a different experiment. But let's see how tonight goes. Okay, Joey, what is my favorite kind of music? See, music. You know what I mean? You guys know I'm a musician, right? Maybe not everybody does. Bi-weekly, dude, I can't do that. Bisexual? No, sorry, I'm a straight cis guy, but have at whatever you want. Um, uh, Stillness. Okay, well, right on. What was I saying? I just lost my train of thought now. Let's talk about doing these things, whatever. Yeah, well, let's just see how it goes. Let's just see how it goes. Um, yeah, I need to see this so I can see what's going on and read the comments. But these are really, I think I sat on them or something, or they seem more bent than usual. Um, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Were you thinking about the comedian Greg Davis? No, Greg Davis. He's from a place called Wen, right? Isn't that in Wales? I watch a lot of BBC TV. Like Taskmaster is one of my favorite shows. Um, it's the guy I'm thinking of. I'm pretty sure he's Glaswegian. He's tall. He's dark haired. He's recently lost a bit of weight. I say recently. I saw he did a thing on the Apollo where I think he referenced having lost weight or something like that. Or I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing it with somebody else. I don't think so though. Yeah. Favorite fruit? Wow. Grapefruit. Yeah, grapefruit. Easily grapefruit. Oh, I was talking about music, right? Because I play music. I like pretty much. Genres is kind of a silly thing for me. I mean, I realize that you need genres to be able to talk about music in a particular manner, and it's also they need genres so they can know which bin to put records and things like. Oh, I guess you guys don't buy records anymore. Or some people do. Vinyl is, I guess it's making a comeback. But you need a bin to put stuff in, right, for people to be able to talk about it. But outside of that, I find genres to be a little silly. You know what I mean? And I don't have a. I mean, there's some things that I'll tell you the things that I don't like very much, the things that I get kind of bored of, or I just kind of really like. I'm not a big fan of what's that guy, Justin Bieber, and that kind of thing. Now, I'm not going to say he shouldn't exist and you shouldn't enjoy him if you do. It just doesn't. It just doesn't connect with me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, from Costa Rica. I was in Costa Rica for one. I went to what is it? It's on the west coast. I want to say it's Punta Arenas. Is that a west coast city in Costa Rica? I was on a cruise ship and we stopped there for a day. I liked it. It was a good day. I had a lot of fun. Admittedly, I was pretty, intoxicated. I got to walk around in sandals and a shirt and shorts, and I basically I didn't stray too far from where the pier was. I just did sort of a bar crawl that I could, do, and just walked around and hung out with people all day. I didn't do too much touristy stuff. I just sort of hung out and drunkenly tried to make friends with locals. I don't speak Spanish very well, so it was kind of interesting. But anyway, not sure you believe in God, but I wish God's blessing on you. Well, I appreciate the wish. I am an atheist, but I am not an anti-theist. This is my trip, man. I have to live my life. You have to live yours. If you've not seen my other channel, WC Postman, I refer to myself there as the anarchist atheist advocating agape. You know what I mean? That's my trip, man. You know what I mean? Humans should be groovy to each other, right? It's in our best interest to be loving and caring to the whole bunch of us. Period. That's my view. Kevin Bridges, right? There you go. Right. Kevin Bridges is the guy. Thank you, man. Hey, Mulligan, thank you. Recovery music. Yes, Punta Arenas. Yeah. If I ever can get down into that part of the world again, I would. I did it. The cruise I did, recovery, was it was from San Francisco over to San Juan and Puerto Rico. It's a repositioning cruise through the Panama Canal. It was a lot of fun. It was like 2 weeks on the boat, and then I spent an extra, I guess, 10 days or a little bit more in San Juan. That was fantastic. Oh my goodness, I got Phoenix Force. Yikes, that's super generous, man. That is super, super generous. So everybody give a round of applause for Phoenix, please. I don't know what else to say other than thank you. I am humbled by your generosity, man. That is really, really groovy. I feel like I'm a little all over the place now, talking a little bit about, yeah, whatever. You guys will remind me if I drop the plot and forget about a tangent. You know what I mean? Whatever. Um, Evander Holy feels. That's funny. That's really good. I like that. I really do. Oh man. Skater Rap Monkey. Yeah, thank you. I like that name too. That's really good. You know, I used to skate. Oh, you know what? You guys bear with me for one small second. I'm going to go grab an artifact that's on the other side of the camera, but I won't be just a brief moment. So, I used to skate, but when I started skating, at skateboarding, right? You know, I mean, anyway, this was back in the 70s, you know, and that was early on in the, when skateboarding was happening. Anyway, so I still have this. This is this is from 1977. This is an actual Gordon Smith Fiberflex. Right? I still have this deck, right? It's got the wood in between the two pieces of fiberglass. I used to ride it with Bennett Pros and a set of wheels that were called Power Paws. I liked them. I just liked the texture of them. But the other cool thing is they just happened to come in black and yellow. So I got 2 black and 2 yellow. So it was like black, you know, over here, and then black down over here, and then yellow here, and then yellow, you know what I mean? So it was like the back and forth thing. So there you go. Yeah. So what I'd like to do, I used to ride, after this, I had a Wes Humpton from Dogtown, and I had some Z decks and stuff like that. And I used to ride Independence for a while, because when I had, obviously the West Humpton is much wider board than this, that for riding, I never really got to go too many skate parks just because of the time, right? This is, late 70s. But we would there was a motel that was not too far from here that they drained their pool for maintenance. And of course we snuck in and skated that, you know what I mean? Which isn't good because you're damaging the pool. But when you're a teenager, and this is like emergent punk rock, emergent skate culture, you know what I mean? We were little shitheads, you know what I mean? We were anyway, I'm thinking I'd like to get I don't know what they call them now. They don't call them Bennett Pros. It's a different thing. I'd like to get a set of trucks again and some decent wheels. I won't do any tricks or whatever, but it might be cool just to go cruising down the street, That might be all right. Anyway, I thought you might dig that. There you go. Anyway, let's see if I got a... Yeah, it's got some scratches on it, Evander, but yeah, yeah, it's totally viable. There's no cracks or anything like that. It would still bear my weight in the whole thing, man. I have the most interesting YouTube out there. Well, yeah. Man. Here's the thing. My mom used to make jokes that she paid for all the equipment upgrades and expansion and stuff at our local hospital with the emergency room. And here's the thing, I never broke a bone skating. I had tons of wipeouts, tons and tons of just doing stupid nonsense. Me and some friends would make ramps out of just the most, it's like, why would you ride that? There's no way that's safe. But you do what you do, right? If copyright strikes weren't a thing, doing ASMR video would be Pink Floyd music and cool lighting would be an awesome video for you to do. Because I think I've been talking about the idea of maybe doing some reaction stuff. You know what I mean? I had some. I can't remember who was it that made the comments. Yikes, my brain is. I'll go look it up later. But man, I'm sorry if you're here and I forgot who it was. But I had a little bit of an interaction about doing, comment-wise, about doing reactions, because I think I mentioned it in one of the recent videos. And I was thinking, what might be cool is to react to other ASMR artists, you know what I mean? But do it in a way, like maybe find lesser known people, you know what I mean? And kind of do some, amplification, kind of, like, I like to, discover new people and introduce people to new people. And anyway, could you continue your life story? Hang on, let me catch up with a couple of these that you can Thank me for Bill Skateboarding. Right on. Yeah, it's absolutely. You're the one that triggered it. Yeah, I never snowboarded, Tyler. And I'm sorry to hear about the break, but you know. Bill, did I say I have another channel? Oh yeah, okay, so I have 3 channels. Um, One is called WC Postman, which is, my initials WC for William Charles, and then Postman, my last name, Poschman. I try to put it in the descriptions in my videos usually. I might forget sometimes, but you might check in one of my videos, one of my more recent videos, and see if I remember to put it in there. Or you could just type in WC Postman. I think at WC Postman will work. I'm not 100% sure because I don't have a lot of subscribers or anything, so I don't know. And then my other channel is, that one's for me just spouting off politics and me, whatever. It's, there's not very many videos over there, and I will probably rarely put stuff out, but, yeah, politics and religion stuff where I rant and rave, that's where that's going to go. Because I want to keep this more relaxed, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Gibby, how you doing? Yeah, yeah. Reacting multiple styles of music, that would be cool. Now I've totally lost my train of thought. What was I? I'm just so scatterbrained. Let me get a little napkin too, so I don't dribble all over myself. Oh, it's a paper towel. Okay. Okay, so I guess what I should do is go back to the life story thing, shouldn't I? So where did I leave off? I was playing in bands in my 20s and married. You wouldn't have heard of any of the bands I was in down in San Diego, nor up here. See, here's the thing. I was not a very healthy person psychologically, and I didn't realize it. I was doing a lot of self-medicating with booze. Anyway, I ended up getting into this trap where I started playing in bands where I was like the best guy in the band. It turned into an ego trip for me. You know what I mean? The first few bands were good bands and had potential, but it's like they just weren't the right fit for me. You know what I mean? So everybody goes through growing pains. You find where you're going and whatnot. But then I just I just lost my way and I became kind of a ridiculous human. Oh, my other channels, right? Yeah. So I'm going to take another break, man. My other channel, WC Postman, and then the other one is it's the number 3 and then monks in a tub. So it's 3 monks in a tub. And again, I'll leave. I'll just try to be more thorough about making sure I put those at links or whatever in my descriptions, so you guys can find that. And again, there's not many videos over there, and I'm gonna cull it, frankly, because I had initially put stuff up there that say, hey, it's just YouTube, man, throw it up there. But there's a few things up there that I'm actually proud of, so I'll keep those up, and I'm going to take the other stuff down. But anyway, well, here's the thing. If act now while you still can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video over on 3 monks in a tub, where I'm going to tell people what's going to happen. I'm going to call them, but I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to unlist them, so that if people actually like the video, I'll give them the link so they can see it, as long as they promise not to pass it around. I actually had an experience with that with somebody. They said, hey, could I have this link to this video I turned off? And I gave it to them. But here's the thing. If I've turned it off, it's because I don't want it seen anymore. But I can be, if you'll be cool and not be passing it around, then I can be cool and you can see it. I don't really mind about that. Okay, so let me see some comments, and then I'll go back to my weird rambling version of my life story. Okay, hang on. You're actually, okay. Mulligan says, I have really enjoyed music channel as well. Oh, okay, cool. So at least somebody here has seen it. I know some people have seen it over there, but it's good to know that you'd like it, and that's really good. So Jason says, I believe in God, and I don't care if you do. I just wonder how even with the mathematics, the only true law, you perhaps accept no creation, maybe double and infinite times and nine. See, here's the thing. I have a particular perspective. I do not believe in laws in the way that you just described. I don't think of mathematics as being about laws because, well, here's the thing. The thing I studied in mathematics was axiomatic systems. So math works because of the way we've constructed the axioms, right? It's a constructed thing. Obviously, we've observed things and we used our observations to put that together, but math works as a constructed thing. And I don't believe in laws of physics. I think they're really good descriptions, and we use math as probably the biggest tool to make those descriptions. But we're describing phenomenon that we observe. I mean, that's what's going on. And the universe has no obligation to obey our laws. You dig what I'm saying? It's us coming up with descriptions of the universe we find ourselves in. Anyway, there's my view. And infinity, yeah. Here's the thing about infinity: don't let them. It's like, I mean, oh, infinity's not magic. You know what I mean? It's weird, and strange things can happen with it in mathematics, but it's not magic, right? For example, people like to think, oh, if you have infinite this, then everything happens. You know, well, okay, if you're talking about a set of numbers, for example, like the even numbers, I don't care how far you go out, you'll never find an odd number in there. You know what I mean? So infinity doesn't do magic stuff. It just, it is what it is. Oh, hang on, some stuff's going by faster than I realize. I want to scroll back up to make sure I'm getting everybody. I need to calm down. I feel like I'm speeding, getting too speaky, getting excited. So let me just chill out for a minute. Anyway, I hope that made sense, Jason. I wasn't trying to, respond in an overly excited, negative manner. I hope it didn't come across that way. Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate the comment there. Okay, so 3 milks in a tub sounds like the start of a good bar joke. You're not too far off. It actually came to my mind. This is back, well, actually, when I was still drinking, and to me, it made me think of what am I trying to think of? A nursery rhyme. You know what I mean? Some kind of weird, silly, intoxicated nursery rhyme. That's, I never really came up with the nursery rhyme, but it seemed like that's what it should be for. Oh, don't worry about the poor typing, man. It's all good. Book recommendations. Yeah, okay. I think I've said it before, but Thich Nhat Hanh's Living Buddha, Living Christ. That's a really, really good book. And it's, I mean, even though I'm an atheist, it's like I found a tremendous utility and a lot of great ideas in the thinking of the universe, especially when it comes to ideas about compassion and things like that, especially out of Christianity and Buddhism. I mean, if you don't worry too much about the historicity of the guy named Jesus, and you think of it in terms of a message from the Christ, right? You know what I mean? For me, that works. Now, I'm not trying to tell you, that came off like I was trying to talk you out of Jesus. You need to do what you need to do, man. I live in my world, in my head. That's just the reality. Stuff comes in, stimuli come in, to taste, touch, smell, all this stuff. And my brain makes up a little virtual world, for me to use to, function so I can not bump into things, and all of that. But I do the best I can with what is me, and me trying to make sense of that. That's the nature of my religion, is me trying to figure out what I am and how I fit in everything. Anyway, back to book recommendations. Oh man, if you're adventurous, William S. Burroughs. I would say go ahead and start with Naked Lunch, you know what I mean? That's a good place to go. Sci-fi, I like sci-fi a lot. Asimov, I like old classical sci-fi. I also like, if you like action adventure and you're not too worried about it having, tremendously interesting dialogue, because he doesn't, is Edgar Rice Burroughs. He's the guy that wrote Tarzan. But I particularly like the Barsoom series. It's John Carter of Mars. It's this guy from Earth who ends up on what we call Mars, but they call Barsoom. And it's tremendous. It's just crazy, the stuff that Edgar Rice Burroughs can imagine and put together. And it's like, I don't know, I find it very, very gripping and exciting. What else? Marquez. A couple of things, like Love in the Time of Cholera, 100 Years of Solitude. The most recent one, which I really, really liked, it's a much shorter one, so maybe I'll recommend that, is A General and His Labyrinth. It's about Bolivar. If you're familiar with him, he's the guy that essentially freed Latin America from Spain. I won't go too much into it. He's a very powerful figure for the Americas. I mean, we tend to blow off anything south of our border here in the United States. But yeah, it's a tremendous story. It's a powerful thing. He's a very, very interesting man. And Marquez is, I don't know, he's one of those writers, you know what I mean? He's like up there in upper echelon nonsense, or I shouldn't say nonsense. Anyways, hopefully that gives you enough of an idea of the kind of books I'm digging. Okay, so here we go. I'm getting. Let's go catch up on some of these comments. Okay. Where did I went down too far. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I haven't talked to Ephemeral Riff. Wow, it's been years. It's been literally years, and I think it's my fault because we were interacting with each other, and I was supposed to get back to him about a thing, and then I didn't, and then it turned into one of those things. Oh, I should get back to him, but I haven't got back to him. So how do I explain I haven't got back to him? You know what I mean? It just escalated into me being a jerk and just not getting back to him. And I think he just got tired of dealing with my flaky butt. Yeah, he's a fantastic guy. He's a really, really good guy too. Not just the way he presents himself on the camera. He's a really just good guy. That's that. Okay. Do I like pickles? Only sweet pickles. I don't like dill pickles. And I only really put them in stuff like, sometimes I'll put it in tuna salad, or, if I make macaroni salad or something like that, or if I'm just snacking maybe once in a while, although I rarely buy them. But Mulligan Murphy. Yeah, that's one way of looking at math. That's one of the tools we use it for. Absolutely, absolutely. I don't like to think of things as having singular purposes, but yeah, that's absolutely a huge, huge part of what it does. To be honest, it's the most powerful tool for doing, as you say, for describing and explaining things. Let's see, you lost me at math. I was horrible on that subject during school years. That's too bad. I'm going to blame that on the system you were educated in and the people who educated you. Math is beautiful, man. It is. It's like music or art or anything, really. It's just, I get that it's a difficult thing, but I think it's truly accessible to most people. It's just a matter of connecting with them and finding how they can connect with it. That doesn't make it easy, but it makes it doable. And I think here's the thing. We need to be doing these things for each other. I know I keep saying this kind of stuff, but humans will do better when we help each other. And that's everything from encouraging each other to educating each other to actually caring for each other medically. Humans should be caring for each other. The world would be so much better if we could just figure that out. Anyway, let's see, Auctioneer Bill. Yeah, I'm going fast, aren't I? Yeah, slow down, Bill. Did I ever play in a punk rock band? I played in a band that was kind of not exactly punk, kind of more grunge-ish than punk, but yeah, I almost played in a punk band in San Diego, but I opted to join a different band when I was down there. This would have been in the 80s, probably, 83, I think, is when I would have been entertaining that idea. Now, I played in some bands that were just sort of crazy out there, like some of them weren't bands they were, call them projects. A lot of us in the band scene in San Diego, we all were friends and we used to hang out, and everything, it didn't matter which type of band you're in, but we would hang out. Sometimes we'd do these jam sessions at somebody's rehearsal room, and sometimes out of that would grow these, sometimes we'd just go find a club that would let us do it. We'd, make up a name, and, one time I think we called ourselves Spontaneous Combustion or something like that. And we didn't do that all too often, frankly, but when we did, it was amazing. But it was just chaos. That was the beauty of it. It's just chaos. There was me and a couple of other guys that were in that little scene of group of guys that I hung out with, that we were very into. Ornette Coleman, if you guys know who that is. He's a jazz saxophone and composer. He's the guy that has the album Free Jazz, that has Jackson Pollock on the cover of it. Yeah, he used to get beat up, and he's from Texas, and they used to beat him up because he played crazy music, man. Miles Davis thinks he's nuts, or used to think he's nuts. Anyway, okay, we didn't create mathematics; it's created. Well, I'm not going to get into a debate about that kind of stuff today. Yo, what's up, love your stuff? Thank you, Whiskey. Gibby. There's a Yeah, see, here's the thing. Which is like, I'm sorry, Gibby, I didn't read your whole thing, but you guys can read the comment. Yeah, that's why I'm not an anti-theist or anything like that. I have, like I said, I have my life, and I have a lot of friends who are, in fact, people of faith and believers, however you want to describe it, from even multiple religions. one of my most dear friends was profoundly Catholic. He's since passed on, but yeah, he was, and actually he's the one who, as I was, developing ideas about things, is, kind of guided me into where I'm at now as far as anarchy and that kind of thing. Um, um, oops, what? Okay. Man, I just lost the thing. Where's it go? Okay. The, well, this comment thing keeps jumping around on me. Okay, so if I can get back down here. All right, I'm just going to try and catch up on the comments for a minute. I'll try not to be too boisterously rambunctious. Everyone has their own reality, absolutely. But now here's the thing: do we have a shared reality or not? I don't know. That's a very weird thing, isn't it? Um, oh, hi, Lance. Well, welcome. I hope you have a good time. Um, okay, thanks, Buff. I think that's what I'm going to try to do with this. Nice beard. Thanks, man. Is that C.T. Halpin? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Yeah, absolutely. Great book, huh? You might like the Red Rising series, neat futuristic sci-fi. Red Rising. Okay, I'll look into that. I'm unfamiliar with it, but um, what you know. Oh, if you're asking if I know Ephemeral Rift, then you've not seen The Duel. You're in for a treat. Go to either of our channels. Actually, go to both of them, because here's what it is. He and we started interacting with each other. It was largely him, because he had been in the scene making videos longer than me. But this was way back in the day, right, when ASMR was a much smaller scene. Anyway, we decided to do a collaboration, and so we came up with the notion of what is this thing that became The Duel. But what we did is we exchanged footage. And so we each made our own version of the movie, and it's essentially like a little movie. The thing is he outclassed me because his recording technique and his equipment was so much better than mine. So his audio quality is way better than mine. But the overall effect, I think, is I think it's a really good video. I'm really proud of that one. And yeah, the fact that we have two different versions of it I think is a really groovy thing. But yeah, for a minute he and I were friends. You know what I mean? And it was my fault. I kind of just, I don't know, whatever. I'm a jerk sometimes. Okay, someone says horrible at math. Well, there you go, man. So you discovered a love for it. That's great. Let's scroll down. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm glad I could help you, Charlotte. That's groovy. Andrew, where were you involved in something? No, I wasn't involved in the hardcore scene. I mean, I was, I couldn't even remember the name of the band right now, to be honest with you. But I would go to shows now and again. Um, mostly I wasn't really so much, mostly some of the people that I met that were in the hardcore scene down there were not, I don't know, I just didn't get along with them, I guess is what it came down to. So that kind of kept me out of the scene. But, not that I didn't, yeah, whatever. So I was not part of the scene, but I did go to shows now and again. Um, yeah, violent. Yeah, I mean, because I went to, oh man, yeah, like this is, what was it? They were called the Penetrators, opened for Oingo Boingo. That would have been before I was even in bands. Um, and that pit was really, most of the time pits are, I mean, people go, oh, they're slam dancing, they're hitting each other, mosh pit and all that. It's like, it's not as scary as you think, really, except for some pits are horrible. Some pits have people who are really trying to hurt each other. And that's just, I don't get into that at all. Um, right on, whiskey, right on, yeah. Well, yeah, I have tremendous, I mean, Miles is one of my, yeah, Miles is who Miles is, you know what I mean? There would be no such thing as jazz fusion if there wasn't Miles Davis, you know what I'm saying? Um, Mitch Allward, hi Bill, thank you for all the chills over the years. What's my preferred? I lately just stream. You know what I mean? I do listen to Spotify and Pandora. Um, I also do, what is it? SoundCloud, I guess is what it is. I try to go find new and things that I wouldn't find elsewhere. You know, I don't know. There's just so much stuff that's available. You know, when I hear people go on about, oh, modern music is so horrible now, it's like there's examples of horrible music in every era. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, you just need to find it, man. There's good music. There's good music everywhere all the time. Um, Okay, man. Well, go get some sleep, brother. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Actually, I should just say sibling, shouldn't I? I'm trying to train myself to just say sibling because I don't know who's what. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be more inclusive than that because I used to be that kind of, hey, brother, hey, sister, that kind of thing. And then I don't remember exactly what triggered it, but I was like, oh, wow, I'm leaving people out, man. And that's just not going to fly. I can't be doing that. Um, anyway, so Andrew says the duel is such, yeah, isn't it great? I'm really proud of that. Yeah, it is different. The scene has definitely evolved. It's unfortunately it's kind of consumable, isn't it? It's kind of well, maybe that's just me being jaded, you know, because it's not the small, cute little, you know, community it was, you know, back in the day. And so maybe I'm just, you know, nostalgic for something like that that I felt was special. But um, you know, maybe we just have to make it. You know, there's the thing. I just have to make a greater effort at, you know, cultivating my own small community here, right? You know, I mean, and then we can just reach out and yeah, find other people to, you know, I don't know. We just have to do what we need to do. Yeah. Um, oops. Why does my thing keep jumping so much? Okay. Okay, we go. Okay. No, I did not serve. Um, I have family members who have, and I have friends that have. My brother-in-law did, but no, I did not serve. Mostly just because I'm a weird screwball. You know what I mean? I don't have anything. Um, my problems with the military aren't the people who serve. My problems with militaries are how they are misused by governments. You know what I mean? For as long as you have screwballs like, well, I'm going to call out Putin. You know what I mean? As long as there are people like that who have their hands on the levers of power, let alone nuclear bombs, our world is going to be in a precarious place. Um, uh, oh, there you go. Yeah, you guys have some crazy math going on with anything to do with ballistics, right? That's applied physics, isn't it? That's just straight up that, you know. Do you guys? What's that guy? There's a guy who's a former infantry guy, former army infantry, who does videos I watch sometimes. I can't think of his name. Man, he's good because he does a lot of commentary on the current conflict and kind of just describing, you know, technologies and tactics and strategies and, you know, and all this kind of thing. I find it very insightful. You know, kind of helps me, you know, get a view on, you know, what's going on in the world over there. Um, do I still talk to Whispering Star? You know, I haven't talked to him in his gazillion years either. We just sort of lost touch. Um, yeah, that Christmas video. Wow, I had forgot about that. That's a long time ago. Crazy, huh? Man. Okay, so Whiskey is headed to bed too. Okay. Cool. Glad you go check that out. Wait, did I delete you? I hope I didn't delete you, Jason. I'm not sure what that is. I haven't deleted anybody, I don't think. Mommy, Daddy, have you ever been to Gilman in Oakland? Um, yeah, I had some friends that when I lived in San Diego, I used to visit. They were Cal students, and yeah, yeah, they took me there. Um, oh, just all right. uh, Ben Lacey, I had don't that doesn't ring a bell. I will look him up. Um, the history of the beard. Okay. Well, I already said it earlier. It started at my sister's 40th birthday, so I mean, I guess you'll have to rewatch this when it does replay because I don't want to have to, you know, go over the whole again. Maybe I'll retell it again later if there's a bunch of new people show up and I need to, you know. Velvet Underground. You know, I liked them. I enjoyed listening to their stuff. But no, I wouldn't have joined them. Um, Yeah, I mean, yeah, just because, I would have liked to have done some collaborations with Kale, though. I mean, that's where my interest would have been. Um, Yuji Ono, that name's familiar. Maybe I'm not sure if that's actually a genuine memory tickle or if that's, I don't know. I'll try and remember to come back through here to get people's recommendations. Um, Oh yeah, there's a lot of people who are in it. See, I mean, I get that. I mean, well, whatever. I have my own financial issues, and I think I would like to turn this into something where it could make me money. But I don't want that to be my focus, man. I don't want that to be my focus in anything, whether it's music or whatever. I think, well, that's me, right? I'm the screwball, whatever. Um, you know. Oh, I see pavement, right? Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. You have to ask. That's fine. um, I'm assuming is that Ghost with the X, or should I pronounce that differently? But yeah, it's going okay. Um, Still thinking about what was in that bag on the train. Well, that was the idea, wasn't it? Do I know man behind a camera? That's yes. Um, oh wow. That's man. Wayne. I'm trying. Yes, I have seen some of that. I haven't seen. Oh man. I'm gonna have to. Yes, because well, here's the thing. I don't. I've seen only small snippets of stuff from that, and how I got turned on to it is there was a guy that did a series on Netflix years ago when I actually had subscribed to Netflix, that was about the history of film in general, and he spent a lot of time on stuff, um, and yeah, I mean just the idea of yeah taking a camera out and just yeah that's pretty profound stuff, isn't it? I mean. Just shooting, just yeah, it's very yeah. I don't even know how to fucking describe that, man. But yeah, that's a thing I need to look more into because I'm only superficially aware of it, frankly. Um, Between 90 and 94. Hmm. I wasn't really. I mean, I used computers between 90 and 94. I was using Windows, I think. I was involved with a junior college for a while. They were using some weird. They had a Unix system that was kind of the backbone of this, whatever. But then they had a lot of desktops that were using Windows that just acted as local computers, but then kind of terminal-esque otherwise. Um, Yeah, so I'll just say Windows. I didn't because when I was a kid, again back in the '70s, my dad had an Exidy Sorcerer, and that was the first computer I had any experience using. But it's not anything like today, right? I mean, it had 16K. That was how much memory it had, 16K. Um, and I used to write my own little programs and stuff on that, mostly using just basic. Although I wrote my own little slot machine program where I made my own fruit characters, and it was just like a 2D thing. And then what I did to make it look like the pull is I just had an arm, and then I printed blanks, and then reprinted the arm back up so it looked like it got pulled forward. That was my cheat on getting animation and having to print the characters and then print blank, print character, print blank to make it look like it rolled. And it was just yeah. And that was what did we use for that? It was I think it was Zillig Z80 was the machine language for that thing. Um, yeah. Okay, so let's go down. So I should do a playthrough of Red Dead. You're another person has recommended that too. Um, that's a that's a console game though, isn't it? I don't have a console, and nor do I have a Windows machine anymore. I'm just using only this Pop OS machine. Well, that's not true. I have what used to be my Windows machine, which is kind of it's fallen apart more or less. But I have there's enough. The CPU and the motherboard work fine, and more or less, kind of. But it runs fine enough that I use it to watch YouTube and stuff as a TV in my living room area, and I'm running it off of the Rescue thumb drive for Pop OS because there's a demonstration version. I mean, so it's all pretty sketchy, but it's just so I can, I just mostly just watch stuff online over there on that thing. A lot of YouTube, basically, because yeah. Anyway, okay, let me catch back up here. Play something like that. Okay, I'll have to look into it. In honor of spooky season, have you ever had a paranormal experience? Yeah, I think I've told you guys the idea of, well, I don't know if that counts as paranormal. It was when, okay, so it was back in the 80s. I was in high school, and I was in German class, and there's a crackle came over the PA, and I just sort of somehow knew and blurted out the statement, somebody's just shot Reagan. And then the principal came on and informed us that somebody had just shot, Reagan. And of course, everybody in the room was like, what? And then I quickly played it off, and then everybody sort of seemed to forget about it. And I was like, cool, because I didn't want to, Anyway, so there's that. I've had a few other ones. I don't know how to, categorize them, and I can't explain them. But I can't jump to conclusions about things just because in my imagination finds them appealing, Thoughts on exploitation of homeless / drug addicts on social media. Yeah, I think it's a bad idea, frankly. I'm not a fan of exploitation, period. Look, if you really want to go help somebody, then go help them, you don't need to do that by, dragging them out and turning them into a dog and pony show. Yeah. Oh, relaxing ASMR. Yeah, yeah. He's the guy with the pens. Yeah, yeah. He's pretty cool. I like his stuff. Yeah, I think he's been making. I think he's been making videos longer than me. Top 3 albums of all time. All right, I don't really have a top 3 albums. So let me just think about this. I'm just going to make some stuff up right now, just to. Okay, so top 3 albums of all time. Okay, Bitches Brew. If you are unfamiliar with that album, get it. It's a it's good. It's jazz. It's Miles Davis. And yeah, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Bitches Brew, Electric Ladyland, which is a Hendrix album. Man. See, now it's like there's so many things I could choose, and I'm not sure where to go. I'm going to have to say it's a toss-up between Dark Side of the Moon or Wish You Were Here. In this moment, I'm going to say Dark Side of the Moon. But, if you ask me tomorrow, that might change. Okay, Ghost, I'll look. Maybe I can, I don't use Wine. I have it installed on my machine, which is supposed to let me run Windows applications. I'll have to look into seeing if I can get PC games to run using Wine. I don't know. Susan, yeah, Philip Glass, he's okay. I don't seek him out, but when I have been exposed to him by other people playing him for him, stuff like that, I've enjoyed it, but he doesn't grab me, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. So I enjoy it, but he doesn't grab me, I guess is the best way of saying it. Do I ever plan on going full Kratos and just rock the monster beard and the buzzed head? I have done that. Give me a quick sec. I forgot a thing. Sorry for the interruption. That was medication time, and I forgot that I had one coming up. Well, I always have one coming up at 10 p.m. It's just the way it is. Being the math guy that I am, I have gabapentin I'm supposed to take 3 times a day. It's for my nerve pain. And so I take it at 6 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 10 at night. You know what I mean? That's me being a math guy. All right, so Philip Glass, yesterday, planning on going, I might do that. I like having the long hair right now. Although, see, I've got this, what is this nonsense? This wispy ass, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Back in the day, I used to actually shave, with a safety razor. This would have been, when was the Rodney King verdict? Yeah, because I used to get after that happened. And this it just shows you the state of our world. Um, People of color would avoid me after the Rodney King verdict. Give me a wide berth. I think because I had a skin head, they assumed you can figure what I was a kind of an intense guy at the time, but I wasn't. I just liked having a shaved head because it was, whatever. If but that was a rough time for a little bit, wasn't it? It's just again we have so many broken people in our culture, and we need to figure out a way of helping us not be broken. Um, and I'm not referring to Rodney King there. He got broken by them. I don't know what his issues were before that. Alleged. Well, whatever. They brought up his criminality and made it okay. I guess is that the idea. I'm oversimplifying it. I don't want to get into a whole thing about that. Let's move on. I don't want to get into violence and stuff. Okay, so the opening of Glassworks is good. Have you ever been a fan of disco? Yeah, I was a fan of disco when disco was disco. I was a kid, you know what I mean? Let's see, I would have been like junior high age, kind of like, okay, so I was born in 65, so I was 12 in 77, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I mean, I didn't ever go to actual discotheques, but I went to house parties where people played the Bee Gees like crazy, you know what I mean? And we would dance and all that. And, of course, we were, awkward, geeky kids, but, we thought we were, or Casey and the Sunshine Band, right? That was huge, right? Um, God of War for Halloween. Yeah, maybe. Usually people say I should be things like Gandalf and Dumbledore and the like. Hmm. That's an interesting change up. Uh, oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so let's get to white people get a lot from ethnic people in cities like, yeah, see, here's the thing. I don't want to start a whole big weird thing about, but here's the deal. I'll tell you this right now. I think that the race model is a horrible thing. And clearly there are differences between people, but the idea of that there are three races, the Negroid, the Caucasoid, and the Mongoloid is ridiculous. It's pseudoscience. And it got pushed, whatever. To me, it looks like it's a justification for a bunch of imperialists to say, it's okay for us to take their stuff from them because we're better than they are, right? That was the whole point, really. I mean, that's what it looks like to me when I look back at the history of it. But, that maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just whatever. Anyway, I'd like to move on to happier things, if I may. Um, what's your favorite of all the puzzle games you play, like the Wordle, Variations, Sokoban, etc.? Okay, here's the thing. I like all of them for different things. So, you're going to find this, that like, I don't like bests. You know what I mean? It just doesn't fit my psyche very well. But okay, so I understand kind of your question. So I think I can answer it without, being too weird about it. Um, so, I like Sokoban just because it's challenging for me. You know what I mean? It's really, really challenging for me. I think probably my weakest intellectual thing is about spatial awareness and this sort of thing. And so even though it's only 2D, it does help me develop that kind of thing. Um, and I like Codebreaker because it's easy. You know what I mean? It's a really, really, for me, it's a simple form of logic. It's like proofwriting or code writing light. You know what I mean? It's just, it's if you can understand that kind of logic, then you should be able to do Codebreaker pretty easy. And if I think whatever. I think it's a good thing. But lately, I prefer the Xortle or Xortle or Chortle, or I don't know how you want to pronounce it with the X at the beginning. Um, I like that where you're doing two words at the same time. Um, Although I'm getting pretty good at those, mostly just because it's a matter of letter elimination and trying to have a reasonable enough vocabulary that you can recognize words, right? Um, I like Worldle, which I've been playing quite a bit lately. Although I don't play that. I don't play that here because you can't do. There's no repeat version, right? You only get the one puzzle a day. You can't go back and replay things or anything like that. But I quite like that one a lot because I think some of you guys have probably seen my geography thing. I need to revisit that because I have this idea that I want to eventually know with some confidence all countries and all capitals where they are, you know, and the whole thing. You know, just because I just decided I want to do that for myself. You know, it's me. Okay, so let's see if I can get back to the comments here. I hope that answered your question, Booby Scooby. If not, I'll chime in again and say, no, I meant whatever, and I'll try to be more clarifying. What my character build is looking like. I'm not sure I get that. I think it went over my head there, Ghost. Or, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, sorry. Mr. Duckman, hey Bill, sent you a message from FB a few days ago. Just wanted to say thanks again for making videos constantly. Okay. Okay, I guess I haven't got back to you. Yeah, I need to get better at using Facebook. You know what I mean? I complained about it in one of the other videos, and I just need to, because I do use it to kind of stay in touch with friends here and there, but mostly my friend in the UK. And I actually have, well, I have more than one friend in the UK, but one in particular that I spend the most time with. And so maybe, I just need to get better at using Facebook, because it is a useful thing. Just because Mark Zuckerberg, you know, and their use of data annoys me, and well, it does more than annoy me, but anyway. You know, and again, Mr. Duckman, I'm glad that, you know, you can get any joy and happiness. If it helps you get more than that in a meaningful way, then that's even all the better, man. See, that's what we should be doing, man. You know, so it gladdens my heart that I've succeeded in just doing a little bit for somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's a groovy thing. Okay, Mommy, Daddy, have a good night's sleep. I love you too. And, you know, hopefully I will see you in another one of these soon. Okay, do you ever play Uno? Oh yeah, I've played Uno. It's a go. Oh, you know, right now I'm pretty scrawny. I've always been fairly scrawny, as far as my physique. And yeah, you know, although for a little while, I guess I wasn't really making videos during this time period very much. Um, I kind of got onto a bit of a health kick, um, and I guess I was about 160, but I was a super, super, super lean 160. I was, you know, I commuted on my bike in San Francisco to work every day. I was doing body weight exercises. I was consuming, I don't know, like, oh, not a whole lot, probably like between 2,500 and 3,000 calories a day. Um, but I was in better shape during that time period, you know, right around 50-ish, you know, maybe early 50s before my spine nonsense went whatever, well, whatever. I let it, you know, it wrecked me, you know, that's the reality of it. But before that, I was in better shape than I'd been in my entire life. I'm trying to see if I can get my, you know, mindset into a better place to kind of strive towards that, because I'm going to need to do something, or else my mobility is just going to, you know, well, degenerative disc disease is not a good thing. Um, okay, anyway, okay. Could play chess grandmaster in a matter of days. See, I am the chess thing. Okay, so he suggested I might be good at chess. I used to play chess a little bit just because I had friends who liked it. It never grabbed me, man. You know what I mean? So you know, I might have the intellectual capacity to excel at it if I worked at it, but it would take time just because it doesn't draw me. What I did enjoy, which is actually easier to learn but harder, I think, to play, but maybe it's just my take on it, is Go. My dad liked Go quite a bit when I was a kid, and so he taught me how to play Go. And I finally got to the place that I could give him a run for his money. But you know, um, yeah. What do I do for work right now? I don't do anything for work. Yeah, I don't have the physical capacity to hold a job right now. Um, because of my spine. I'm trying to get healthier. You know, in the meantime, I'm hoping maybe I can, you know, maybe grow a YouTube channel, and maybe it'll grow fast enough that I don't need a job, right? But, you know, that's kind of unlikely. But, you know, who knows what can happen in the future. Have I thought about incorporating more of your music into your ASMR videos? I think I could have something. Okay. Yes, I've had absolutely been thinking about bringing music into my ASMR videos. I've even thought about trying to do. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with a guy named Joe Frank, or another guy. Oh, what's it's Ken Nordine. They're hugely influential guys into my my psyche about music and what I might do with it. But they're mostly spoken word guys. Well, and yeah, spoken word guys. That's their thing. Maybe that's kind of oversimplifying it, but so I've been thinking about doing stuff where I lean on ASMR spoken worded type stuff with more minimalistic musical elements, and then more intricate musical things, but where the spoken word becomes a minimalist on the music channel. You know what I mean? So maybe I could have some synergy between the channels. I think that might be kind of cool and appealing, at least for me to make, and hopefully cool for you guys to dig. So you can see what thing is what. And oh, hey Dad, how you doing? There's my dad. um, okay, have you thought about it? Yeah, okay, yeah, so my dad's the one with the uno comment. So if anybody wants to say thank you for causing me to exist in the world. I told them about you knocking up mom early, so, or you had to get married earlier than you planned because of me. What is my favorite alcoholic beverage? Okay, well, Guinness with some kind of Scotch back. However, I no longer drink. Um, I should say that back. A Scotch with a Guinness back. I said that backwards. Sorry, but I don't drink anymore. I haven't for well. I quit drinking. It was the same year I started this channel, but it was a couple of months before that. Um, yeah. In part, that's kind of why I started doing this. I needed stuff to do, and making ASMR appealed to me. I just never had the balls to do it, and I decided, I really like the ASMR community. Maybe I should give back, so maybe I'll make some ASMR. And here we are. Um, anyway, that's good. Health is wealth. Yeah, health is wealth. Right on, man. Get shredded, brother. You know what I'm saying, man? Do what you need to do, bro. Be the best you, right? There you go. Be the best you. Do I watch baseball? No. I used to go to games now and again with a friend. Um, I can't stand baseball if I'm not there in person. On TV, it just bores me to tears. I don't know what, it just does, I'm not a big sports fan anyway, really. I mean, I have to be with friends who are into it, and I can get caught up with them. But on my own, I lose interest really fast. Hey, Guy. Well, okay. Glad you found me. Good to see. Oh, Randy, man, I have not interacted with you in a gazillion years, man. How have you been? Man, 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 it is good to have you here, man. Good to have you here. Right on. I'm gonna have to go. I haven't. Yeah, I've totally lost touch with you and your work and everything. I'm assuming you're still doing the painting and the whole thing. Yeah, I hope. I'm sorry about that, man. I have just dropped the ball. I need to come back and find you again. That's all there is to it. I just suck at some things. My interpersonal skills are not always the best. Anyway, Randy, I'm glad you're here. I'm really glad you're here. Thanks for showing up. Da-da-da-da. Okay, you can use and grow this YouTube channel, man. You have to the voice. But. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. I just have to put the effort into it. We'll see what I can manage. I'm trying to get my head around it, how to do it, and then just be able to do it well. That's what is my goal on YouTube? Uh, I don't know. To be able to make stuff that I'm proud of, and maybe be able to get sufficient enough of an audience that perhaps I can generate an income from it. I guess that's more of a fantasy than a goal at this point, but I'm trying to, I'm going to see if I can leverage it into a goal. I just need to get, I just need, yeah, I just need to get better at doing it. That's really all it is to it, isn't it? Um, you know, yeah, you're right. I just have to get good at, playing the game, don't I? I've been using other social media to draw attention. getting better at making my titles, getting better. I just have to get better at the whole thing. That's the whole thing I just need to do. There's a lot of things I need to get better at doing. And there you go. I just have to figure out how to do that, I guess. Any horror stories about landlords? Well, yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. Not really. I mean, I've had horror stories about things that have happened and landlords that maybe weren't great at responding to the things that happened. Um, but I don't know if I call them horror stories. Like, I lived in a house once and a hot water heater, just fell apart. And we came home and it was like water everywhere. And, and it just took the lady forever to deal with. I guess that's a horror story. Um, and I lived in an apartment like 20 years ago, and pipes broke, and the apartment above me, I lived on the ground floor, and I had tons of stuff get damaged. So it's funny that they're both plumbing things. Although that was just, it was an accident that happened, and the manager, that was in a big complex. So it was not really a landlord, it was a company. But there was an on-site manager, and he was on the spot. He took care of it. It was obviously it was sucked. That I had stuff get destroyed and water damage and all of that. But yeah, he wasn't a nightmare in that regard. But right, yeah, guy, yeah. There's a certain amount of luck, but there are people who play the algorithm well enough to do well. So I guess I just have to see if I can get good at that. Um, Hunter Moore, I've been following for a decade. Just wanted to pop in and say hi. Glad to see you. Well, hi Hunter, glad you popped in. Tim Kazi, happy I caught you. Well, if it's been a long day, relax, man. Kick back, put your feet up. Top 3 presidents, in my opinion. I can't answer that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm gonna leave that alone. Um, the algorithm also kind of sucks. A lot of great artists are driven down the common name. You see, there's because the YouTube thing is mostly, it just says like browser or something like that. It doesn't really give me that many details, but that seems to be where people find me. It's like, it makes me think it's by accident a lot of times, which I guess is okay, um, but I'm glad you found me too. And Sticky says he just joined. Thank you. I appreciate the good wishes. Um, yeah, I did get a big bump of people finding me after the unintentional ASMR thing. My first big bump, when I was first starting out, was from Maria. Maria and, what's her husband's name? Daryl. They both gave me some shout outs and were very nice to me, when I first started making videos. I think that had a lot to do with it, because, they were who they are, right? Um, yeah, I know what you mean, the channel, right? Yeah. And the guy that runs that channel was really nice when he reached out to me about wanting to make, because here's the thing, he didn't just do it, disrespectfully. He reached out to me and said, hey, I want to do this. And I was like, yeah, do it, man. It's right on. I think it's funny that he gets way better views off of a video of my stuff than I get, you know what I mean? Which for me, it's fine because I wouldn't have gotten the exposure otherwise, right? So I'm, fine to have, let him have the views from it, you know what I mean? And plus, it's, if my stuff is out there making people happy, then it's better than nothing, yeah? Um, okay, I found Bill 3 years old vids. All right, cool, JFK. Okay. Yeah, at what age do you think a man should give up on love? I'm not even sure I understand that question completely. Booby Scoopy Droopy Doo. Um, I don't know. I don't think there's an answer to that. That's a specific number, and I'm not even sure people should. Frankly, it just depends on your thing. You know what I mean? I don't know what would cause you to think that you should. Without knowing specifics and how bad it was or whatnot. I would like to think that. Well, here's the thing. Models that use and rely on absolutes tend to not work. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to say, that, you should never, abandon love or whatever, but, or give up on it or whatnot. But, I would like to believe that in most cases there's a path. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like redeemable human beings. Um, anyway, okay, been a fan of yours for church. Do you still like the ASMR community like you did back then? Yeah, I have to say no. I mean, it's not that I have anything against individual ASMR artists or anything like that. It just doesn't feel the same to me. It doesn't have quite the same community feel to me. Um, but maybe that's me. Maybe because I just can't find my little place in the bigger sea of it. Um, I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't feel the same to me. And now it's not to say I'm going to stop, making ASMR, and I don't want to, abandon it or any such thing like that. I just, yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm going to need to start thinking about winding this up because I'm going to do another one at midnight, and I'm going to need to go give my back a rest. Okay, anyway, let me try to run through these comments and see if I can catch up and do that. Okay, so Calvin, Guy says Calvin Coolidge, Abe Lincoln, Washington, Teddy Roosevelt. I have a lot of respect for, Washington. The biggest thing I respect him for, well, yeah, I'll go ahead and just toss that in as the biggest, but it's oversimplifying. The fact that he resisted becoming a monarch, because he could have, and that would have changed, a whole lot of things, I believe, for the worst. Roosevelt, I absolutely have a tremendous amount of respect for Roosevelt. Off the top of my head, my memory of Calvin Coolidge is failing on me right now, but anyway, Abe Lincoln, of course, yeah. I mean, he did what he set out to do as far as keeping the Union together. Okay, I think I actually found Bill from Haley whispering. Yeah, she and I used to interact quite a bit. I don't interact with her anymore either. I don't even. There was a time because she and I used to exchange quite a bit of pleasantries and comments and hi there's and this kind of thing. Anyway, I had sent her a gift of some old beat up records that I had. Because I don't have a turntable anymore, and she had just gotten one, so I don't know if she did an unboxing of it. I don't know if it's still up on her channel or not. I haven't been to her channel in a gazillion years. I don't even know if she makes ASMR anymore. I don't think so. I might be wrong. So I've lost touch with so many people. Favorite movie soundtrack / score? Star Wars now. I mean, okay, people like that music, whatever. That's an easy one. The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Hands down. That's one of my favorite movies. If people ask me it's like I tend to not like favorites, but I'll say The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and The House of Flying Daggers. Those all sort of, kind of wrestle for first place in my mind of movies. But as far as soundtrack goes, man, The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Absolutely. That's just tremendous. Okay, so Jacob, hey Bill, I just wanted to say you've helped me through a lot of sleepless nights. Glad I could help. I'm glad you appreciate it, man. That means a lot that you dig it. And okay, this thing just jumped again. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, on the thread of the thing. Yeah, and I hate to say this, I'm going to say it anyway, and if you guys want to take me to task on it, that's fine. But it seemed like there was specifically an explosion of a lot of extremely attractive women making ASMR. And that's fine. I don't want to tell them not to make ASMR. But I've run across a few who I didn't really dig their ASMR thing very much, and it made me wonder, do you really dig ASMR and do you tingle at all, or is this just you doing a thing because you think it's going to make you popular? Maybe I'm being too cynical or jaded or something in that regard. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What's your take on that? Am I being too jaded on that? Yeah. Before it was even called ASMR, I mean, we called it what it was, whether it was a whisper video or you know what I mean. It was specific. That was my thing. I liked whisper videos or tapping videos or whatever. Right? They just called it what it was, and I don't mind it having the label or any of that, but it grew so fast that I just feel like it's just so large. It's difficult to maintain a sense of community for me. So thus, I need to make more work, I guess, or invest more work, for us to create a better community. Or I need to do that from, my own place in it, I guess. Let's see, unintentional ASMR got all the views. Yeah, I think, yeah, Anyway, Tim Kazi, what do you decide to come back to being active on your channel? Well, okay, but big part of it is, wow, I hope the audio didn't, ooh, it's just a weird red thing I just clipped. Hopefully it didn't get too horrible for you guys. Um, so I ended up in a pretty bad place psychologically because of the issues going on with my spine, which triggered some really bad issues with, my psychology. And anyway, in trying to climb out of that, um, because I haven't been able to work, I thought, I have to do something, that's not, well, in any case, so just to be able to be a creative human again and kind of claw my way back out of the kind of the hole I found myself in because of, pain and anguish, I guess. Um, so I guess twice now ASMR has been a tool for me, you know what I mean, and in a very selfish manner. But if I can do it in a way that serves me and then also helps you guys too, then yay for all of us. And okay, I never prepared for people saying my name out loud. Oh, okay, so all right, I'm gonna have to. Oopsie daisy, it keeps jumping. We got to. Okay. The young girl boy. Yeah, okay, right. Guy, gotta go. Good night. Well, glad you could stop by, Guy. Um, Haley sold her channel. Is that what you're saying? Wow. Okay. Well, she needed to do what she needed to do. It's not for me to figure out what that's about. Um, do I like any hair metal bands? Um, Not really. I don't think. I'm trying to think of any that I might like. There was a. I don't know. Would you consider Rat hair metal? Um, I like that song Round and Round. Um, so there's little snippets of bands that I like here. There, I was into metal for a little while, but fairly early on, like '80s, like Iron Maiden. This sort of especially Iron Maiden when they still had Uli Roth, right? Um, um, yeah, of course, Motorhead, right? You know what I mean? Judas Priest, this sort of thing, right? This is back in that, of course it got, way harder, and, there was some obvious interplay between punk and metal that, that came to be a reality. Um, and I kind of gravitated more towards that kind of, like the Metallica, early Metallica and that kind of thing. I also like the Black Album, to be honest. I know a lot of people, didn't, but well, a lot of people did because they bought it. But I know a lot of fans that were from the earlier time. Oh, they sold out. And it's like, I don't know. I like it. I think it's a good album. Um, uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Space Cowboy. It does, doesn't it? Okay. Right. Yeah, yeah. Money is money, right? You know what I mean, Mulligan? It's just, greetings from America. Whereabouts in America? Because America's, down from Tierra del Fuego all the way up to the top of Canada, right? You know what I mean? Um, I know a lot of people just use the shorthand of America for the U.S., but it's continental plates, man. Um, yes, I am still in the Bay Area, Jake. I live in a place called Castro Valley on the East Bay. I chose to give up my place in San Francisco to return to the family home for, well, a lot of reasons. Reasons for me, reasons for my mom and my dad. My mom has since passed. It was good that I came when I did. I got to spend time with her at her end of life, which is more valuable than, yeah, yeah, I'm glad that I was able to do that. And I also came back home because I could tell my spine was getting bad and there was no way I was going to be able to keep that job at the paper company because like a big chunk of my job was being out in the warehouse and humping like a package of dunnage, well, package, a big thing of dunnage is like 70 pounds and I couldn't, I was getting a place I couldn't toss it around anymore. You know what I mean? It's just like you can't move it, then you know, I mean, if I can't do the job, I can't do the job. And it was getting to the place I couldn't do the job. And I wanted to leave, as you know, before I was, you know, told to leave, you know what I mean? Anyway, if you invested in equipment and put together a schedule for streaming, you could definitely earn a decent amount of ASMR. Yeah, you know, well, I have the equipment I have. You know, it's going to have to be that for a while because, you know, I have no money to invest. Yeah, you know, that's kind of the idea. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to see how this goes tonight with the streaming thing. Yeah, because I'm trying to, I'm trying what I'm trying. We'll see how it goes. I do want to start streaming more because it seems to be that people like it. I mean, not just me, it seems that in general people seem to like streaming. Yeah. Thanks, Kyle. And let's see if I can doink it. Okay, it looks like I'm almost caught up. Do I like the Melvins? I'm drawing a blank. You know what I mean? I know I've heard the name, I'm drawing a blank, so I'm not sure how to answer that question. Black Flag, yeah, you know, Black Flag, it's fine. That's Henry Rollins, right? Yeah, you know, he's also done some interesting stuff when he, you know, started doing the spoken word stuff too. You know what I mean? Do I like living in San Francisco? I did like living it when I lived in San Francisco. Yeah, I mean, I got to live in a really nice apartment. Well, you've seen it in my older videos. That was a beautiful, beautiful place. The guy I lived with, who was a good deal older than me, Gary, he was a fantastic human. I've known him since I was a baby. He was friends with my uncle. He's a gay man who he's like in his 70s when I was living with him, and he was getting more play than anybody I've known in my whole life. I mean, even in his 70s, he was having guys like younger than me when I was in my 50s living with him, you know what I mean? Coming to the place and banging on the door and, you know, like, Gary, it's like I had the front room and he had the back bedroom. That's the way we had our place sort of laid out. Yeah, it was funny. It wasn't funny. Good for him. He got the, you know, whatever, but, yeah. Anyway, oh yes, I did like living in San Francisco. Sorry to go off on that weird tangent about my former roommate's sexual habits. Hey, Wayne Pfaff, am I pronouncing that right? Ryan says, what's my favorite astrological body? You know, right now I'm going to say Saturn, although that would change, you know, from time to time, mostly just because I saw a thing earlier talk about Saturn, and the thing I find really fascinating is the, hexagon at the top. Is it a hexagon? I'm thinking it's a hexagon. Yeah. Anyway, it's a thing that's, you know, straight lines, you know. What's that about? Yeah, Mulligan, I'm not going to give up making videos. You know, I would do videos more than I will do streaming for certain. It is my intent to, you know, well, just to get better at it and get better at making a workflow and getting, you know, so I can make things in a way that is good for me to make it and maintain a good output. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, I mean, what it all boils down to is I just have to get better at doing this all the way around, you know what I mean? Were I ever married? Yes, I was married. I was married from the time I was just before I turned 21 until I guess we separated when I was 27, and I don't think the divorce was final until I was 28. Yeah, it was when I was living in San Diego. Yeah, I did talk about it before, but you know, whatever. I mean, it's a short answer, so I don't mind addressing it again. It's okay. Repeating stuff I'm fine with. I just don't want to repeat things, you know, so frequently as it, you know, if it's repeating it often enough that it becomes mantra-like, that's one thing. But if it's just boring, then that's just silly, huh? Oh man. Oh, nice. For the telescope thing there, Space Cowboy. Right on. Okay, well, if anybody's got, you have like until 10:40 to come up with the last couple of comments, and then I'm going to bail so I can go sit on my recliner and turn on the massage pad and the like. And then I'll be back at midnight. So I don't know how many of you will be able to return or not. And I'll see how well it goes at the midnight session. And then I'm also going to be doing tomorrow morning, I think I said 9. Is that what I said what I was going to be doing? Yeah, so that's the plan. So we have a last few minutes here to, before I go. Okay, here we go. Jonathan says, so you're bisexual and it's confusing. Most people think I'm repressed, but I'm glad that you're out loud and proud, man. That's fantastic. You should be you. I hope you can get your confusion, to a place where it's not, confusing. Or maybe you find the confusion exciting. I don't know. But I hope you can make a good life of it. Yeah, that, people should, I don't know. People should love each other. That's really my thing, man. Do I play other games besides Sokoban? Yeah, haven't you seen some of my other gameplays? I do the Codebreaker and, of course, those word games. Although I'm thinking about trying to bring in a few other games, like Klotsky. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that. I don't know that I'm very good at it, but it might be something I could play slowly and, in a relaxed manner. Well, it's a good thing it's a Saturday night then, huh, Space Cowboy? Yeah, so yeah, I've got to figure out some more games. But yeah, I do play other games besides Sokoban. What else? Well, here, let me just do a quick look over here. What's my bookmarks that I'm not thinking of? Wordle, Quirtle, Octortle, Exortle, Worldle, the world geography thing, Codebreaker, Sokoban, and then a crossword thing, and then a Sudoku thing. So those are the ones I play with frequency. Yeah. So, I guess vote for your favorites in comment sections for if you want me to play less of one and more of another. That doesn't mean I'll comply, but it'll give me an idea about what you guys are interested in. I mean, I tend to be sort of like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, you know what I mean? But, I'm not adverse to taking input. I just tend to be a stubborn prick sometimes, I guess. I don't know if my dad is still around, but he is. I'm sure he could attest to the fact that I can absolutely be a little overbearing, and part of it is to do with this fantastic intellect that they diagnosed me with when I was a kid. Anyway, when you think you're smarter than everybody in the room, sometimes I'm right when I think that, but sometimes I'm not. But it can lead you to making some pretty arrogant judgments about things, and that's a thing I had to, that's a high horse I need to climb off of. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, keep on rocking, Bill. Your videos are awesome, and thank you for the comments, man. I appreciate that. And I'm glad that I am actually getting better. I'm trying, so it's good to know that it's actually occurring. Okay, I guess this is winding up. What are we doing here? Good night, Bill. Awesome stream. Thanks, Tim. Okay, I think that's going to be the last one. I'm going to end this stream now. So aloha, siblings. Love each other. Be kind to each other. All that kind of stuff. And I will, if I'll be here at midnight again, right? So yippee-yi-yay, okay? See you guys. Bye-bye. Yeah, okay. Blink. All right. Stop streaming.